Good morning and welcome to the trade setup right here on BloombergQuint Live. I'm Niraj Shah. And uh, it's a day of mixed cues, you will have to say. Lots of stocks that will react positively. The market momentum may not be quite there. And why do I say that? I think there are a number of reasons why you might have a bit of a consolidation kind of a day. Look at the US markets yesterday. They were up and about in trade, and then just about of profit booking, if you will, especially the Nasdaq, which was I think down about a couple of percentage points as we shut shop. So a bit of a mixed queue really for the US markets, trading fairly okay for the better part of the trading day, and then just coming off not like a pack of cards really. Actually, the Dow did reasonably okay, but I think the others had a bit of an issue. I mean, and symptomatic of what the US market did yesterday was the stock price of Tesla, just so volatile, was up about 14-15% or maybe 16% intraday was Tesla. And then just, at least when I went to sleep at about midnight or slightly past midnight, the stock came crashing down to about flat to minorly negative, and then again did okay. But yeah, this is of course what the stock has done over the month. But in yesterday's session, it had a fairly choppy day as well. Having said that, what are the US markets cues suggesting for what the rest of excuse me, the world does, and what does the SGX Nifty suggest? Well, I would presume that it would indicate a day of consolidation, maybe a marginal pullback for almost all of the key indices. So about 1% lower for HSI, KOSPI, to very, very choppy trade. That's the least that you can see, isn't it? That it's very, very choppy in the session right now. Very difficult to call what the trend could be, but maybe a day of consolidation is the best way to describe it. Even if marginally lower, you could argue that it's a consolidation day. The SGX Nifty will show you that the start would be what the cues across the rest of the world are pointing towards, but you don't call that necessarily the order of the day. Again, it's been chopping its own way throughout the last few days, but last few hours. But yeah, starting indicating about 0.5% or thereabout lower. So we'll probably have a start which is around that much. Now the key is, what does all of this mean for our markets? Remember in yesterday's session, exporters and Reliance both helped the index stay afloat, and there is no reason why these would not do well today too, because Nifty IT is on a very strong footing, and it's a key day, key week of results, and all of these results could actually decide the momentum for Nifty IT going ahead. Keep in mind, we saw the defensive bent of the market yesterday itself because healthcare, hospital stocks were making a bit of a comeback, giving the feel of a defensive market. The top volume buzzers, the top price gainers were all healthcare and hospital stocks. And therefore, you've got to feel that the market is starting to develop a bit of a defensive bet yesterday. IT, healthcare, Reliance. Banks were down yesterday, and that's what indicates what the mood of the market could have been. So you probably see a continuation of that in place. And therefore, in line with that, if it's a day of consolidation, I think what becomes important are individual stocks. So one, earnings, and a few of them today. Wipro from the large cap side on the Nifty comes out with numbers today. I mentioned it's a week important for IT and continues with Mindtree, Oberoi Realty, Delta Corp. So you watch out for all of these numbers. Could be very interesting names to monitor considering the lockdown and what they report and the commentary that they give. But key names that you would monitor today on open are the really important ones that I want to bring out for us. So first, I think Phoenix Mills, the stock of the day actually has to be 5% Capital, isn't it? To my mind, it would be this because it's clocked in the highest revenues, profits, and margins. They've added about 1.6 lakh clients as well during the quarter. And this, I presume, is the work from home effect. It also leads me to believe that some of these brokerage stocks could well be the important determinants in the session of the next few days. So by virtue of what 5% Capital has done, it will definitely be in focus today. But you'll also have JM Financial, MK, Motilal Oswal, uh, all of these brokerage related names Edelweiss be in focus today. So do watch out for these. These could be the key determinants in the session today. Then watch out for Phoenix Mills. The board has approved raising about 1,100 crores via equity and will issue up to 15.63 lakh convertible warrants at 640 per warrant, aggregating to about 100 rupees per share, 100 crore rupees. So this would be important simply because of the pricing, and in tough times, if all of this money is being raised, promoters might be putting in money. that augurs well. So therefore, watch out for Phoenix Mills in the session today. Could be an interesting one. Soba has come out with a COVID-19 impact as well as some updates on the shareholding that we unearthed as well. So firstly, the impact, they say that the operations are coming back to normalcy in a gradual manner. Construction activities will be that are impacted will have an adverse impact on billing, and we'll see impact on revenue recognition. So in a veiled sort of a way, Soba is warning of how the quarterly numbers could look like, even if long term is okay and operations are resuming gradually. To my mind, if you look at it just normally, I think this is not the best. Uh, how do you say, guidances by the management, or a watch list by the management, and therefore I would presume that the stock would have reacted negatively to this. However, there is also some shareholding development that has happened when Godrej Group has hiked stake as per the June shareholding pattern. The subsidiary now owns about 9.9% stake in Oda Anamudi Real Estate in Sobha versus 1.1% in March. So uh, that's 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 interesting, to say the least. Balaji Telefilms, and this, I'm bringing this out from a perspective of the risks that stay associated with businesses, right? um, Everybody thought that things are opening up and therefore everything is hunky dory. But one of their actors has gotten infected with COVID-19, and they have halted the shoots of all television products. And this just brings to forth the risks that are associated with businesses, right? I wouldn't. Balaji reacts a bit negatively, even though digital, etc., all is doing okay. But just the risk associated with opening up and normalcy in operations. So let's wait and watch what happens here. Bata has given an update about how they've reopened more than 1,200 of the 1,400 stores. I'm a bit unclear about what impact this has on the stock. A lot of people believe this is very, very positive and the stock could do really well. Maybe it could. Just keep in mind that if it does, then maybe this is it. They're going slow, they're continue to expand, but they have reopened 1,200 of the 1,400 stores, and maybe that could be taken positively. Lastly, a couple of names that I do want to point out in the session today in terms of trade. One, BF Utilities, wherein the shareholding pattern seems to indicate that Tata Chintamani now holds about 1.3% stake in the company. I think stock could fly as well because of the name associated. So do watch out for this one. And Vedanta, there's a Bloomberg story. I urge you to log on to BloombergQuint.com and try and read more about it, wherein Hindustan Zinc is planning to raise some money in order to facilitate Vedanta delisting. All cues point towards how serious the promoter is to delist. And the institutional investor, to my mind, will not let this go just like that. It will not happen in the base price for sure, but it may happen. I think the conjecture is that it could happen at a substantially higher price. So don't be surprised if you see the Vedanta stock being in the green today or over the next few days, because I think the intent of the promoter is clear, and the minority shareholder or the institutional shareholder could well take the biggest bang of the buck for the short holding that he has or she has in Vedanta. So, mind you, do watch out for 5 Paisa Capital and brokerage stocks. Do watch out for BF Utilities. Do watch out for Vedanta. Last but not the least, today I'm not telling you what stood out for me, but telling you what's open for subscription if indeed you want to go out and put fresh money to work in a primary sort of a way. The Rosary Biotech IPO day 2 is open, so do watch out for that one. And do watch out for the Bharat Bond ETF, the second tranche. It opens for subscription today. Somebody who wants fixed income, safe investments could well be one thing that you would want to see. You could also log on to BloombergQuint.com and read more about the Bharat Bond ETF as well as the Rosary Biotech. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Trade Setup today. Have a profitable day.